Welcome back, mathletes. We have our second day of our writing equations lesson. We learned yesterday that an equation is really just a math problem with an equal sign. And when we have an equation, we have an expression on one side, then an equal sign, and an expression on the other side. Our expressions have the same value. So sometimes we can simplify those expressions and end up with our values being equal to each other. Sometimes we have a constant as one of our expressions, and in that situation, it would be like equals a total. So 2 plus what equals 7. There's still two different expressions happening there. Today, our focus is all about the real world. So, how do we take this idea of answering questions and writing equations into the real world? So, we'll be looking at a bunch of real world situations and using that information to write an equation. Our next lesson is all about solving these, but our first step is really to get it written. Our textbook example 3 on page 279 shows us an example of a real life application situation. We'll pause the video while you look to see how exactly does the equation get written for this situation. So you can see that they started off with the variable. S is the question. How many students? We don't know. And when we don't know the information, we use a variable to write it out as part of our math equation. So they let S be the number of students. Typically, if you're looking at something in the real world, pick the first letter of that word, so S for students, and use that as your variable. But if it's something like O for oranges, try to avoid that because O could also look like a 0. Then they show how when students were eliminated, they are really subtracting. So they chose the minus idea because eliminate means to be removed, and removing is a subtraction idea. If we take the number of students that started, which is a mystery, and we remove or subtract the number of eliminated students, which we knew was 24, it's going to equal how many kids there are still there. So we don't know how many kids we started with, but we do know that after 24 were gone, we had 96 still in the spelling bee. So the equation was written as students take away 24 is 96. Now, in our next lesson, we will solve equations once we've written them, but for today, our focus is just getting them written. Notice how we set it up where the variable is not alone. That's what we'll be doing as our setup. So we learned this yesterday. There's like a structure, and when you're writing your equations, you want to start with the total information. This is going to be one side of the equal sign all by itself. If we don't write our equations like this, then in our next lesson, when we're working with inverse operations to solve, you won't be able to show why, because really what you're doing as you shuffle things around is solving it at the same time. But we have to write the equation first, then solve it. So we'll put our total information on one side of our equal sign. Then find the unknown. The hint, it's usually hiding in the question. So if at the end it says, how many kids were on the playground? Our question is all about kids. So maybe K will be a good variable. How much is the cost per pound? Maybe P for pound, maybe C for cost. Then we're looking for all those math vocabulary words. You're going to have words that mean add, subtract, multiply, divide. So think about the situation and what kind of math is going on in that. And then any other values or numbers that are important to the problem. Write the equation so that your variable and operation symbols and values are all on one side, and it's balancing out with the total. So each of these situations has an equation that matches it. Notice that they all have 18 as a total. They all have a variable x, and they all have a constant 6. But we have division, subtraction, multiplication, and addition. Read each situation and we'll match them up to the right equation. So the first situation matched with the x plus 6 equals 18 because in 6 years means she's going to gain 6 years to her current age. And once we take her current age and we make her older by 6, she'll be 18. She's not 18 right now, though. The second situation used the word separated, and I know separated is a split word or a divide. Remember that division doesn't have to just be shown in this structure or format any longer. It could be shown, and typically will be shown in 7th grade and 8th grade with a fraction bar symbol. The next situation involves him buying books, and each book has the same price. And since they have the same cost repeated, and he's buying books as groups, it's groups of the same cost over and over and over again. In the last situation with the temperature, the word dropped is a subtraction idea. And so we take the current temperature, we drop it by 6, and then we end up at the temperature. How'd you do? Were you able to match them up? Here's my example. I'm going to be writing an equation for this situation. I'm looking for my total, my variable, and my operations. So my situation talks about a 6th grade class, and they're raising money. They've raised a total already of $452 by selling these tickets to a spring dance. We know the price of the tickets. Our question is, how many tickets did they sell? So I'm going to walk myself through this situation, and in the end, I'm going to use the information to write an equation. The first thing I'm going to do is find the total, and that's pretty easy. Their total is a 452. This value is going to go on one side of my equal sign. So it's going to be equal to a 452. Now, my variable is my question. And usually a question is found at the very end of the story problem. So if tickets cost $4 each, here comes the question, how many tickets? The thing we don't know, tickets. I'm going to use T to represent tickets. My operation, I know that tickets are $4 each. So with them being $4 each, it's going to be groups of $4. And I know that groups is a multiplication kind of math. So my equation will be written 4 times what equals 452. How many times do I multiply by $4 before I get to the total money raised? Now in our next lesson, we'll solve this and answer the question, but for today, we just want to write the equation necessary. We'll give you one to try. Your situation is on the screen. We'll pause the video while you look for your total, your variable, what math operations and values you already have, and use it to write an equation. So your equation should have been written 10 times C equals 70. Because we do know that there's 10 boys, and each boy washed the same grouping of cars, we know that their total washed was 70, but we don't know how many cars each Boy Scout washed yet. Tomorrow we'll solve this and we'll figure it out. But for today, they're washing a repeated same amount each, ends up being a multiply by 10. Remember, there's a lot of different ways to show 10 is being multiplied. Something like that, or parentheses would have been okay. And we learned that commutative property even lets us kind of adjust some of these here. So if you take the number of cars washed by each boy, which we don't know, and you multiply it by the 10 kids, you're going to end up with 70. How'd you do? Were you trying to solve it, or did you put the 70 total on one side of the equal sign? Here's my next example. I see that Raymond bought some bottles of water. The water was $2 each. And then he also bought a large pizza at $13. He spent $21 in all. So how many bottles of water did he actually buy? Well, my total spent for Raymond is $21. So that's going to be one side of my equation. Now that I've taken care of the total, I'm ready to fill in the rest of my equation by writing the expression on the other side. How do we get to 21? Well, he's going to buy water and pizza. The water and the pizza together are going to give us our total. But some of our information is unknown. So the question is, how many bottles of water did he buy? We don't know. I'm going to use B for bottles. I also could have used W for water or just X. We don't know how many bottles of water, but we do know those are $2 each. So what we do with our bottles of water when they have the same repeated cost is multiply that cost by the number of bottles we have. If I knew he had bought 8 bottles of water, then it would be 2 times 8 bottles of water. But I don't know how many, so we're just going to use our variable. The other thing that Raymond purchased was a pizza, and the pizza is $13. I need to add on the price of the pizza because when you go shopping, you take all of the products that you purchased and you add the cost together to equal your total. So I have 2 times the B bottles of water plus a $13 pizza equals Raymond's total of $21. Now in our next lesson, we'll use inverse operations to solve and figure out how many bottles of water did he purchase. But for now, our equation is written. We'll give you one to try. Write an equation for your situation. So based on your situation, the total collected from the driver was $35.88. So that value goes on one side of my equal sign. If you're trying to put it on the other side with some of the other values, what you're doing is you're making it so that eventually we won't be able to show why our answer is what our answer is with an inverse. So we're going to set them up in this style. $35.88 is the total. Now, let's build the rest of the expression. So 23 groups of the cost or the fee is what's being collected. But the fee is something that we don't know. That's our question. So if we take the 23 passengers and we multiply that by the same fee per person, we'll get the $35.88 collected. So the rest of the equation was written with the expression 23 groups of F, or 23 times F. How'd you do? Writing equations can be tricky, but practice makes us better. My next situation involves some geometry. A triangle has an area of 56 centimeters squared. We know the base, we don't know the height. So, let's look through this situation for the same type of information. The first thing is the total. Well, total on this one is area. Normally, we look to figure out what is the area. And since the formula is going to help me write the equation, I know that triangle formula is A equals B times H divided by 2. That formula will always give me the area of a triangle. The difference is usually I know the base and the height and I solve for area. But today I know the area is 56. So in place of the total area, I'm going to put the 56 value. Another number that we do know is the base. So our base is 14. So in place of the B base, I'm going to use the 14 value. Now the operations are already in the formula. Multiply and divide. So here and here. The part I don't know is that variable. And the question is, what's the height? And since I don't know, we're going to use the h in the formula to represent this unknown triangle height value. So 56 total area equals a base of 14 multiplied by a we don't know height divided by 2. In our next lesson, we'll start to solve these types of equations, undo this math problem until we figure out the value of the height. But for now, we have an equation written using the formula. I'll give you a geometry style question to try yourself. So since your shape was a rectangle, our formula for rectangle area is A equals B times H. We're trying to find the information regarding the inside space. The problem is we know the area. All of this inside space covers 56 square inches. So the A gets replaced with the 56 total. We also know that the base of this, draw it on here, this base bottom measurement happens to be 8 inches. What we don't know is how high this rectangle goes. So we write it out as 56 equals 8 times h, or 8 times h equals 56. How'd you do? Are you able to use the formula for geometry to write an equation? Now it's time to practice. So your assignment today comes from journal page 150. We're looking at 1 through 4, and we're also looking at real world situation number 7. Remember, when you're writing your equations, you want it to be where one of your math expressions is written on one side of your equal sign, and your equal sign balances out with the total in the situation.